Hey YouTube, I wanted to come talk to you guys today instead of scrolling Marketplace and buying things I don't need. So here I am. I wanted to go over all these projects that I've made this most recent time that I've tried sewing. I did try sewing a couple years back with just some old scrap denim and didn't like how anything turned out, so it was a pretty fast fail. But this time I'm really enjoying it, and I wanted to kind of show you how I've been progressing through these different projects and maybe give you some inspiration to start some of your own. So the very first one that I did was this one here, and I really like it. It turned out fine. It holds some small items. Usually I have a set of cables that I use for ham radio digital modes. I have those in here, and it works exactly how you would expect a zipper pouch to work. This one specifically, the few things that I don't like about it, I don't know if you can see this on camera very well, but it kind of puckers, the zipper kind of puckers because it's sewn into the sides here. So it has a little bit of a memory, so it wants to be flat, and I've sewn the sides into the seam so they're kind of like this, and that makes it pucker up. So I had a pretty big fail on this pouch where these, if you can see that there, these zippers had come apart, so I had to go back through with some more stitching, and I just went over that like 5 or 6 times to try and hold it together. So I don't know about the longevity of this pouch. The cables that I use, they're not stressing the bag at all, so I'm sure it'll be fine long term. But I wasn't super happy with it. I think that this design has this zipper puckering problem every time. So on the next iteration, I did something different, but I want to show you what this is. So this really is just one piece of the fabric that is wrapped around. So you take the zipper apart, you connect it to both ends of the fabric, you reconnect it while it's like inside out. Reconnect the zipper, and then you sew. And I think it'll be easier to see what I'm talking about with the bag inside out. This is the way that you would sew it when you're going through the project. So you can kind of see here, this is just one piece of fabric all the way around. And when it's like this, it lays really nice and flat, except for where the zipper pull is. But then when you turn it inside out, that's when it starts to pucker. So the next iteration, we'll go over that. The next one was this one. I really like this pouch. I think it turned out really well. I did cut the zipper a little bit long, so it still has a little bit of that pucker, but not to the extent that that one does. It's 2 panels that you put together, and so very similar to the first video that I put out. If you guys want to go back and watch that, maybe I'll put a card. I probably won't remember, but maybe I'll put a card in so you can get back to it, but it's the very first video on my channel. The only thing different between that bag from the video and this bag was I don't have any grosgrain tabs for pulling. I shortened the zipper, and I did not put any binding on the inside. This bag may fail just like that one. I cut this corner a little close, so you can just barely see a little bit of the raw edge. And what I mean by that is when you have a bag like this, it's best to clip these corners at an angle so that when you fold it the right side out, there's more space for it for the fabric to be, and it doesn't get bunched up and round your corners out. So I did that in this bag, but I got a little too close to that sewn edge, and so it pokes out just a little bit. I think some ways to fix that would be not cut it so close, or if I had a shorter stitch length, I think that would help as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with this bag. I love it. I'm gonna continue to use it, but I like the other bags better, so they will be in my main kit. One other quick thing, where this fabric overlaps the zipper, I think this is too long. So on the other ones I shortened it, but it kind of covers up the zipper. I don't know how well you can see that, but it kind of covers up the zipper a little bit. So, you know, hypothetically, it could get caught up in there and jam up the zipper a little bit, and I don't want to have that risk. So in the next iterations, I shortened it. But yeah, I love this bag. I am going to continue to use it, but it was the next step in the process. After those two, I went to this one, which is totally different than those. I mean, same concepts. It's still sewing. It's the same fabric, but different kind of pouch. This is a belt-worn dump pouch. You can see I've got some webbing on the back, so your belt would go through here. I got to try out some bar tacks, so that was good. Or they're like a bar tack. I think you can emulate a bar tack, but it isn't really one on a standard sewing machine. It's got a little snap closure, so you pull that open. This placard, well, this fabric would not be strong enough to hold one of these snaps by itself. So I had a little piece of vinyl for another project, and I covered that up with some of the Hex 70 ripstop. So one layer on the front, one layer on the back, and then the layer of the fabric for the bag. So there's 3 layers of ripstop and 1 layer of vinyl. I think that'll hold okay, but time will tell. But I just wanted to mention, if you try this at home, make sure you put a few layers in that area. And then it kind of folds down like this and opens out. And then you've got just a nice deep pouch. What inspired me to do this, I do have a friend who has one, and I had kind of a vague memory of it. And I saw a guy on YouTube who was camping and was gathering kindling and dropping it in a dump pouch on his belt. And I was like, wow, that is a great idea. So I decided I was going to make one. I've got all the tools for it and the fabric. So I didn't really have any pattern or anything. I just kind of winged it, and I think it went well. I like it. It fits on my belt nicely. Yeah, no complaints. It's just one more step. You know, don't look too close at my stitching because it's still not great. But just one more step in getting in practice to get better at this skill. The next thing I made was the pouch for you guys in the video. This is the exact one that I made. I have since added a little zipper pull, but it's full of stuff for my ham radio kit, which you saw in the second video on my channel, the second long form video. It's got these great grosgrain pulls. It's got the binding on the inside. It pulls from left to right, which I made a big deal about in that video. It's so much easier for me as a right-handed person to open it from this direction. I just prefer that. Yeah, there's not much to say. I went into a lot of detail about this in that last video. It works perfectly for my purposes. I'm very proud of this bag. I think the craftsmanship looks good. You know, still room to grow by all. Anyway, still room to grow, but I really like it, and I think I did a good job on it, so I'm proud of it. So there's that. The next video you guys saw was this pouch. I'm not very proud of this pouch. It still functions, but it is not great. I'll take this stuff out for now. It's a very similar construction to this bag, except you shorten it down here and lengthen it out this way. The biggest mistake that I made on this bag was I put the zipper at the top. And as you can see here, there's a lot of bulk right here with the zipper on either side. Let me kind of close that a little bit. Oh man, don't look at these stitches too closely. I'm new at this still, okay? So on this one, I put the zipper at the top, and that just created a lot of problems for me. I really should have moved it down the pattern like this one is. It's also far too small. I wasn't thoroughly thinking through the seam allowances, especially for the way that I do my zippers. You'll see in the video. It takes up like a ½ inch of fabric, pretty much a ½ inch of fabric out of the entire, or out of each side. So an inch total of the fabric is lost to the seams on that axis. So it's ugly. It's barely functional. It is. I am going to use it for this stuff in my pack, It's just a backup antenna and then some fuses and another power cable. But it's I'm not so proud of this one, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's fine. The next iteration I am very proud of. This is the bag that I made to replace that one. I knew I wasn't gonna be happy with that. This one is great. It's the perfect size. It could be just a little deeper, but then it wouldn't fit in my ham radio case. I'm pointing down because it's sitting at my feet. It wouldn't fit as well into that space if it were any bigger. So this is perfectly fitting the need for which I made it. It has the pull tabs as well. I've got a little bit of coax and some antenna wire in here. It works great. I have no complaints about it. Again, exact same construction method as this one, and I did move the zipper down on this one, and that's why it turned out so much better. I didn't do any grosgrain. Just like on this bag, there's no seam at the bottom and no seam at the top. It's because it's just one continuous piece of fabric. I could put some grosgrain on the inside of this one. I don't think it would really add anything. This HEX70 ripstop nylon really doesn't fray like regular ripstop does. I think it's because of the waterproof coating, the PU coating. But this is a great bag. I love it. It fits my needs perfectly, so no complaints there. The last bag that I made most recently was this one. I made this. It's the exact same bag as this. I just made it for a friend of mine. We've been talking a lot about sewing, and so I decided to just go ahead and make him one. It turned out just as well, maybe even better than my previous iteration. The zipper lays very flat, very nice. It's got nice pull tabs. I again made a little zipper pull on this one with some heat shrink and some paracord. I like that a lot. Yeah, this is a good bag. Good bag. That's pretty much all of the sewing that I've done. Oh, I don't have it because it's in my wife's purse, but she got a nice leather purse for Christmas, and she wanted a liner for it, and we couldn't really find any online, so I made one for her out of this fabric. I don't think that's what she's going to want long term, but once I get some more reps in sewing and getting straighter stitches, I'll probably make her another one of those. But it turned out really well. It fits the bag nicely. She didn't want to attach it inside the bag. She just wanted it to be free floating. So that makes it a little more difficult, I think. But it turned out great. I'm really happy with that as well. That's pretty much been all the sewing that I've done so far. I've got some projects on the docket that I want to get to, but they're not high priority right now. I just wanted to make you guys a video. I do want to go over really quickly 2 more things. This is a Singer 27. This is a really cool sewing machine that I have done. I'll say I've done maintenance on it. I don't think it's I've done a full restoration. I've seen some of the restoration channels on YouTube, and they do just a phenomenal job, and I can't even compare what I did to this to what they do. But I did take some of these pieces off. This one, there's one back here. Oiled everything, cleaned everything. They would probably be terrified to hear this, but I used Barkeeper's Friend on these nickel plated pieces, and I think they turned out really well, but it is probably too abrasive to use on a piece that would have been good quality anyway. This piece is not one of those. As you can see here, has a lot of pitting. There's a lot of pitted rust on these pieces, and it's never going to be a showpiece ever again. So I was fine with using Barkeeper's Friend on them. It works. That's the crazy thing. It works. I have another piece, not this one, but another piece I did run some stitches through. So maybe someday I will do a project with this, but it's difficult. This is a treadle machine. I don't have the treadle here because I don't have room for it. It's at my parents' house still. This machine belonged to my great-grandma, and probably somebody else, almost definitely somebody else before her, because she was born in like 1913, and this was manufactured in 1910. So do the math. It could have been somebody else in the family, or maybe she bought it at a pawn shop or something, secondhand store later in life. I don't know. But it's a really cool piece to have. I'm very happy to have it, and I may give it back to my mom and see if she wants to display it anywhere, because for me it's going to be sitting probably on my workbench over there, and I'm not going to be using it very often. But if there's any interest, maybe I will do a project with this, just for funsies. It doesn't even back tack. This is a very old machine, 1910, like I said. It also, a lot of these can be retrofit with a hand crank or a motor. This one cannot. It doesn't have the mounting hole here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I'll hold it up just a little bit. There's no mounting hole here to put that motor. It would normally sit back here and be mounted there, and then be a belt come up to here. That also wouldn't work with this bobbin winder, so I don't know. It's probably not worth motorizing anyway, but it would be fun to do as a project. So I wanted to mention that. Maybe 3 more things. I'm going to go over this here in just a second. The last thing is these bags that I've been making fit into this radio kit. I'll show you. This one fits perfectly into this little front slot here. Kind of provides a little bit more protection for the radio against any falls against the front of the case. There's padding on the back side, but not on the front side. And then this pouch fits perfectly right here. This is exactly why I started sewing, so that I could make gear that fit exactly my need and fit a task. I could probably find a pouch that is this exact dimension and this exact dimension, but they probably wouldn't be in the same fabric. They would probably look misplaced. So I just thought it was neat and it would be fun to make my own. And I just wanted to show you why I picked up sewing. It was to make gear that fit my needs more exactly. And I think this is great. I am going to continue to use this other pouch that I showed. Even this other one that I'm not happy with. This one holds these cables usually, and then this one holds these cables. So just a fun thing. I hope that it maybe inspires you to get sewing, because it really is a lot of fun. It's like the original 3D printing. And it's probably cheaper to get into than 3D printing is as well. Last thing, I guess I just saw this sitting on my desk and I figured I would show you. This is how I kind of drew out my template for this bag. Can you see the resemblance? There's a bunch of numbers scribbled on here, and they've all been adjusted and all that. But the reason I wanted these measurements is I made the template out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which made it really easy to replicate. So I could just take that piece of paper that I cut into these sizes, lay it down on my fabric and trace it, and then cut it out, and it makes it really easy. I also, I just bought a rotary pad and cutter. It should be coming today, or a self-healing mat and a rotary cutter. I'm very excited for those. It's going to make cutting these out so much faster. I've been using scissors, and they're really not holding up to the task. So very excited for that. Like, subscribe if you like this content. Please leave a comment and tell me what you like, what you don't like. I'm really just doing this for fun for right now. And there is some sewing content out there, but there's not a lot. So I wanted to do my part and show you guys what I've been doing. We'll talk to you soon. I'm rambling now. So this is goodbye. We'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching. Bye.